It's week 3 of the One Room Challenge, and this week we continue to get dirty with painting the room, and we get to see something really beautiful, which is our Gracie wallpaper installed. It takes us about 2 to 3 weeks to paint a room, and I know that might seem excessive, but it's a very, very detail-oriented job, and I'll go through the steps with you so that you know exactly how we do it. Farrow & Ball is an official sponsor of the One Room Challenge, and we were more than happy that they provided the paint. For the other rooms in our house, Farrow & Ball is our first choice in paint, so we were more than pleased to use their paint in the room. I had actually had samples on the wall for about a year of Farrow & Ball paint, and we finally did it and painted the entire room in the colors that we had imagined. For the colors in the room, we decided to go dark, and we went all the way, meaning that we painted the baseboards, all the moldings, even the windows a dark color. The ceiling is a bright, saturated, tealish blue-green, and it gives a sense of whimsy and makes the room into a jewel box. This is an effect that we wanted to achieve with paint to make people feel like they're in a special, cozy place that they might not have ever been before. The steps that we use to paint the room is first starting with the radiators. We sprayed the radiators using a spray gun. It gets the paint in every single nook and cranny and makes for a very fast job of something that could be really long and tedious. If you have radiators and want them to match the wall in the back of the radiator, make sure you get a spray gun. Next, we primed, and we primed, and we primed. And then we hit the what happened moment.
We painted the ceilings with primer, and after the first coat, we noticed some bubbling happening. And we're under a tight deadline, so we said, let's just try to paint it again. Maybe it'll cover it up, maybe it's just some oil base, just little spots here and there. It's not. It came back again after the second coat. So now we researched it, and we found out that our ceilings were painted with something called calcimine, and that was used to put over ceilings and walls that were using a lot of coal burning furnaces or potbelly stoves. Anyway, now we've found another product that we're gonna have to redo the ceilings again, and we'll show you what that is. I did some research and found that there's something that you can get for the ceilings to cover up this calcimine. One of them is the specialized paint called Zinsser Peel Stop. Another one, Benjamin Moore I think makes one, and also there's one called Calcoat, which I could not find. This one seems to be pretty readily available in your local hardware stores. If you need to get it from a big box store, you're just gonna have to order it, or even your small place could probably order it for you. So we're gonna try this next and see if this covers up our problem, and if it does, we are well on the way. Well, I found out from our local hardware store that it's actually the joint compound that activates the calcimine. It's because it's water-based, and you don't see it with a joint compound, you're only gonna see it when you put the primer on top. So that's why we get the bubbles, and now we gotta take and scrape all the bubbles off. We just finished putting on one coat of the Zinsser Peel Stop primer, and it kind of looks like a liquefied Elmer's glue. It goes on pretty thin. It's actually super, super thin of a consistency. And you can see it just has this milky white texture. Now, what it says is that it's going to glue the paint chips back to the ceiling. So in essence, I guess it really is just a glue, but we'll take it.
Next up, it's finally time for color, and this is when things start getting really exciting. We were so happy to see this very beautiful kind of greenish gray go on the walls, and then we took that color and we went with 3 different finishes. Now this might sound like overkill, it might sound like a lot, but keep in mind we're painting a room a really, really dark color, and the woodwork can get really busy in a room, you know, with that many lines and things happening. So what we wanted to do is still add visual interest with the light reflecting off the paint. So we went with really high gloss paint on the picture molding, and then we went with a flatter paint on the walls, and then a semi-gloss on all of the trim. Now that sounds like a lot, but let me go and I'll walk you through it. We went really dark in this room. The way that we get away with doing that is, one, we have beautiful natural daylight in this room. It's in the front of the house, and there are 3 very large windows. Second, we take that light and we play around with it, and the way that the eye sees paint and light reflects off of the paint. We use 3 finishes, and I'll go over those with you. One is Modern Emulsion, and this is the flattest paint that we used. It's like 3 up from dead flat, which is the flattest. That's what we used for the ceiling. Second is full gloss. We put this on the picture molding so that it would catch the light and bounce around the room and keep your eye moving without it being too busy and it being a different paint color. And third, we did all of the trim in Estate Eggshell because it has a little bit of a sheen, it's really durable, and it's great for things around doorways or around the baseboards where they might get a little bit more wear and tear.
Hi, my name is Joe Shea. My company is JM Shea. We're an LLC and we specialize in hand-painted wallpaper installations. The major difference in hanging hand-painted wallpaper versus a regular printed wallpaper that everybody knows and is familiar with is that hand-painted wallpapers, of course, are hand-painted. They can't be wiped or washed. And one of the things we have to do to get the wall ready is to hang a line paper. As you see back here, it looks like a white wall. There's actually a paper liner on the wall, and that the porosity of that paper liner is essential in the success of the installation of the hand-painted wallpaper.
Thanks for joining us for week 3 of the One Room Challenge. We'd like to thank Gracie and Pharaoh and Ball for contributing their beautiful products to our room. We put them in the link below if you want to know more about the wallpaper or the paint colors that we chose for the room. You can find that information below. And we'd also like to thank our friends Greg and Marlaina for hanging out with us all week and taking great care of us by cooking, and Greg helping us paint. We know it was crazy and difficult. We'll put a link to their Instagram if you want to follow along. They are long haul truckers and they live a beautiful life. We'll see you next week for week 4 of the One Room Challenge.